We're still talking school here at MageeNews.com, and I have Chris Lane with me again today because there were some questions that I had not quite gotten answers on. And one of the things was I almost wanted to go back to the beginning because I had asked Chris to tell me and bring me up to date on how did this all come apart? How did we get in this situation of where are we going to build it? Where's it going to be? When did all of this start?
A year and 2 months ago.
We started looking for a place a year and 2 months ago.
Well, that's the first contact I had with them was a year and 2 months ago.
So you have no idea what was behind you. I mean, how long they had been looking otherwise. Was it only a year and 2 months ago that we decided we were going to build a school?
Well, no, you remember we had the bond issue, and they had all that piled in there, and the taxpayers voted not to go with that. So, and then they did the $3 million note borrowing, which, according to what I understand, was their legal right to do so. Mm-hmm. And they borrowed the money for the $3 million note, supposedly to build the main #1 thing in need was the Magee Elementary. Mm-hmm. And the cafeteria in Mendenhall. That's the way I understand. All
right. How did you get involved in it?
They contacted me, like I say, a year and 10 months ago about my property, this 32.5 acres behind Tractor Supply. Mm-hmm. And wanted to know if it was for sale. At that time, it was not. I didn't have a realtor, but I would sell it if need be.
Mm-hmm. Well, Chris, I don't know, we could almost give facts after facts of how it came about, but I just don't understand. I don't understand with the fact that the land was there. Was there a vendetta against you? I mean, there were so many comments made through Magee News, there were comments made through the paper. It was just just like a cesspool of boiling and mudslinging at different people. But I don't know why all the mud was slung at you. I'm just saying they slung it mud at you.
Well, it's, all a lot of it's politics, and a lot of people hearing stories and that may not have the total facts or correct facts in it, and sometimes you just got to use common sense and get down to who actually spoke about it. If it's only 2 people, ask those 2 people. And stuff like that. But I don't know why the mud slinging, the properties owned inside the city limits of Magee, they were for sale when I bought them. So.
Well, okay, one of the things that I keep hearing as a negative, I'll say, on your property is the dirt work that is needed. Mm-hmm. $250,000, is that a fair figure?
I think it's a little high, but that's why we have the engineers to go out there and do their job, which is trained and educated to do. And I think that was the estimate that the engineer lady gave us. I would say it's probably pretty close.
What is the land? I guess it's because I don't live in the country, which I know that's not an excuse for anything, but I always think of land as being ready. But it's just not that way.
It's raw land.
It takes a lot of work to get any spot ready. All right, when we jump to the 16th section, was that land ready? Would it have required dirt work?
No, and I looked. I mean, it's pretty simple. You get nowadays, you can't hide anything or do anything without looking. If you just use your head, you can go on a line and get topographical maps and see exactly what's there. It's there for the public. And where they told me they were going to build it on the 16th section, I looked at the top of it. It looked to me like it'd be about as much dirt work, if not more.
On that area than on yours. Mm-hmm. Okay, we do know that has been decided. They will not build on the 16th section land. I think some people think that you had a factor in that.
No, I didn't have any factor other than, after they left the second time, I believe it was, when I agreed to sell half this property over here, and then they backed out or went behind my back and went doing on that, I just, I backed off of it, said, let the numbers end up where they are. You know, as long as it's transparent, it's easy to follow.
Would you ever have allowed annexation?
No.
Why do you say that?
Well, I guess you got to look at it as if you had bought property inside the city limits, we have a line for a reason, and paid extra for it because it's in the city limits. You have access to sewage ponds and whatnot. There's a reason behind that. You pay extra for it. And if you're just going to keep annexing things and let people dump in your sewer pond, we might as well let Mount Olive come in there and let us taxpayers keep paying for it.
True.
But,
true.
You know.
So really and truly, it wouldn't have come back. It would have never come up because you would not have.
No, I wouldn't have. My understanding of the law and just doing a little bit of homework I've done on it for annexation. Number one, if there's any property owner inside the limits of the city that you're trying to get annexation from, disagrees with it, and you know, of course, there's lawyers that could probably tell you a lot more than I know about it. I think Bruce said something in a meeting about it, that if you appeal it, it then goes to a judge, and this is again just my understanding of it. It goes to a judge, and the judge has to decide whether there's ample property already available there. Mm-hmm. And if it is, well, and he agrees, well, that's the way it is.
Well, I know I was at the meeting when Bruce talked. And it was like if there was any kind of disagreement, you could drag it out forever and ever. Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that being pushed to the side. Mm-hmm. Because, I mean, they made a decision, they being the school board, not to use that 16th section land. All right, now the big criticism that I hear is, okay, it's going to cost $250,000 for dirt work. You would be better off to go to McGee School as it exists now, buy around it $250,000 worth of property and develop it. You've got sewer. You've got fire protection. You've got police right there. What's your thoughts on that?
I think it's a pretty good idea, but again, let's add the numbers. Same thing as the 16th section land. Even if it was annexed, you know, the mayor's already said it was around $500,000 just for water and sewer. And that's just to the city original city limits line right now. That's not counting pumping stations and all going on into the pond. That's not
so
counting.
Really, that's not a fair figure. When you say that figure, that's misleading.
Oh, it's way misleading. You still got to go. That's like saying I'm going to go down the road and build a house on the other side of the road, but I'm going to build this road just to halfway. You still ain't got to your house. So, you know, it costs money to get to there. So, a lot of people don't understand, like I said earlier, about the game changes. The EPA and MDOT and all them, everybody has to go through these regs now that it just costs so much. You can't just put 1,000 students somewhere and say, okay, let's just dump our water in the creek here or sewer in the creek. Mm-hmm. That's over with.
All right, what's your thoughts though? And I know it's kind of hard to say because it does involve your land. Maybe it doesn't. I mean, maybe it does not hard for you to say, but what would you think of it being built in the city, right down there around McGee High School? What do you think's wrong with that?
I really don't see nothing wrong with it. That would be my second or third option. Again, there's property over there on Raleigh Road. There's 200 acres. It could be some sewer cost, water cost going to be there as far as the city, but not nearly as much in the city limits. But that's a good idea. But now let's add up what the law says.
Okay.
If, let's say we go across, is that Choctaw that goes?
Choctaw runs, this is First running on this side of the school, and Choctaw runs on this side. First Street and Choctaw.
Okay, so Choctaw would be the one, not where the walking track is, the other side.
Right,
okay.
Right.
Let's just say we go out that way. I don't know, I would say there's probably 8 or 10 houses through there. Now, by law, let's say that the school district buys those properties. Mm-hmm. It's going to be at a appraised price.
Whatever it is.
Whatever it is. Now, if you think that you can buy those houses. I'm just guessing. Let's just say 50,000 each. I think that would be a low price, low balling, but 50,000 each, 8 properties, 400,000. You still ain't got no dirt work or anything yet. Now let's go on back behind where the rental houses are. There's probably 8 of them over there. You're gonna have to widen all that out to get. Let's just say another 8. There's 800,000 right there.
So basically, what you're saying is, even if we brought it to the school area and built it there, because that's what I'm hearing so much about, that would not really be saving.
I don't think it would. Now they're talking about tearing down that the old building, you know, in the middle. Now, I think that would be a good idea, tearing the old building down. Of course, it's full of asbestos and all that. It's you don't, again, tear down something for nothing. Nobody's going to do it for free. It's going to cost money to get that down, all done, and maybe come up with like a 3-story, kind of like the high school, and come up there with that. But at the end of the day, are we still going to be able to travel up and down through there? I mean, I can't get my kid to school there now.
It's a lot to be thought about, lot to be talked about, excuse me. And we're going to do some more talking about it. I hope you'll continue to watch these videos. They're short, and I think you'll learn a lot.